Let's talk about when you apply for a job in a law firm, how should your resume look like and what kind of application you should make out. I'll tell you based upon my experience. I have received many applications, I've conducted many interviews. The basic things which I always look out in a job application, in a resume, is first and foremost the number of internships which one has done and what is the kind of work which you have done in the internships. Now, please be very careful is that when you mention the kind of work which you have done, do not exaggerate. Because we understand what kind of work an intern can do and what kind of work a law firm will delegate to an intern. So do not exaggerate. I have actually seen people exaggerating a lot, and then in the interview, when we ask them the questions, they have no clue about it. Now, not only you are spoiling your chances in getting into that firm, but the word also spreads around at times. So please avoid any kind of an exaggeration on your resume, on your job application. Mention your internships, mention the nature of work which you have done. As far as your score is concerned, yes, obviously that's again a very important point. So mention your score clearly. Now when you come to the point where you have to express your desired field of law, be very clear and be very specific in that. And before you mention, try and understand at least as to what those mean. I have received applications wherein people have applied in our firm, which is a corporate law firm, and they have mentioned the specialized area as interest in criminal law, interest in tax. Now, the firm where I was working, we have tax and criminal law was never part of our specialist practice area. So then why are you sending your CV to us? And yet you want to become a corporate lawyer. So do not mention just for the sake of mentioning your specialist areas. Mention, and do not mention more than 3 or 4. 2 and 3 are fine. Capital market, private equity, project finance, joint venture. These are various areas. Out of them, mention 2 or 3. Do not mention more than 3 or 4, because then that sounds again very, it sounds very kiddish. It's very immature. All the kind of extracurricular activities which you have done in your CV should be mentioned as ideally in the second part, in the second page, which is your moot courts, what kind of articles you have written, what kind of client counseling sessions you may have done, any extra diploma courses which you have done should again feature out very clearly. Your entire resume should not be more than 3 pages. Ideally it should be 2 pages, but it should not be more than 3 pages at any cost, because you will be shortlisted based upon your resume. And very, very important is that when you have applied for a law firm and you get a call from there, whatever you have mentioned in your resume, you should be completely thorough in that. As an interviewer, we are not prepared to take an answer when we pose a question that as to you have done this internship 3 years back and you have mentioned that this is the work which you have done, can you explain us about it? And they say that no sir, this was 2 years back, I don't forget, they tend to look like this, they tend to look like this. Don't do all these kind of things. We expect you to have read up. You should read all these things when you come for an interview as to what all you have mentioned in your CV. Your CV should be on your tips. That is the moot point. And the common mistake which I have seen which people commit are they exaggerate on their CVs. They may have done what they have mentioned, but they have not read up the latest laws. If you have, for an example, if you have mentioned that you have done some research work in an FDI in a particular sector, you should know the current law also. People don't read up. So please read up before you come for an interview.